Bench pressing 315 pounds. Who remembers that? If you can tell me what that just now was from, then I'll pin your comment. And if it's a tie, then the one that I like the best, or who was first, then they'll get an honorable mention, okay? Special reply. All right, Dan the bodybuilder in Thailand, from Thailand, because that's what I am right now, because I'm back here in America right now, baby. American dream. American dream. Dan the bodybuilder in Thailand. American dream. This video today, what this video about, I'm a Stone Age man. I'm a Stone Age man in modern day society, and I'm walking around the Las Vegas Strip, and there's Trump's big dick. See, it's got 2 testicles too at the bottom. I gotta run because this is only 10 seconds right here, so I gotta fucking go. You see my strength? My strength and size is in the gym, but it's also functional. I just now ran across that street. Woo! Athletic. So athletic. Should be in the NFL. Man, Trump's gold member is distracting me. It's distracting me. It's like gleaming and shit. Really, he's really trying to get everyone's attention with it. I'm a Stone Age man. I'm walking around modern day society, and I'm on the Las Vegas Strip right now. But what I mean by that, I'm a Stone Age man, is that I like everything to be the way the Stone Age people lived. Okay, so the way that I like is like I like to go camping. I went camping a lot as a kid, and I was in the Boy Scouts, and I got Eagle Scout. Actually, that's the top rank in the Boy Scouts. It's pretty hard to do, actually. It really took a lot of work. And I have my mom pushing my ass. I have to thank for that, because if it wasn't for my mom, like threatening me, you know, with not being able to drive and shit during high school if I didn't get my Eagle Scout, I wouldn't have done it. So, good parenting right there. Good parenting at work. But I really like going camping, living in the wilderness, being self-sustaining, making my own food, doing things Stone Age style. And that also comes to what we were talking about the other day. I was talking about the dating life in America. It's really like, you know, they talk about like, oh, chivalry is like the old-fashioned way. That's so old-fashioned. Like, how, oh my gosh, you have to get with modern society. You have to get with modern society. And you need to be more feminine, and you need to want the women to be more masculine at the same time. Because you guys in America, like the way that the girls treat you here, it's like shocking the way that the girls treat you in Asia. It shocks you when you I remember, because I had like a little girlfriend when I first got to Thailand, because I like chatted her. I chatted her up online before I got there, and so she picked me up from the airport, and then she's the next day, because it was really late at night, it was like 2 a.m. The next day, she said, you know, what do you want to eat? And I said, well, Thai food. I want to eat Thai food, of course. And so she took me to this place that was, you know, a restaurant, but what it was tarps outside with, you know, Thai people cooking underneath these tarps to block the sun, and then like tables set up in like a gravel. It was located in like on top of like a gravel parking lot type of Yeah, that's what this was located on. And this was restaurant. And it was surprising to me, but I'm down, you know? I was super down. I was super happy to be there. There's an awesome picture of me doing a front double biceps on my first day in Thailand at that restaurant. And man, it was a different feeling. It was very much more close to the way that they were working, the way that they were outdoors cooking, the way that, you know, we were sitting at these little plastic tables outdoors on a gravel surface. And, you know, the roof of the restaurant was made of plastic tarps, and there was no walls. And, you know, the Thai people, you know, these were the people that were from the countryside. So these were the people from Isan, the northeast area of Thailand, where actually they are rice farmers up there, and they live a really authentic, like Homo sapien, early ancestor type lifestyle up there. Because I went and lived with them for a week. I lived with a family on a fishing farm for a week, and I experienced this. And all the dudes out there were ripped. They weren't like huge, but even because of their diet, they only ate things. They were hunter-gatherers, you know, and so like they only ate the things that they hunted and gathered. And the way that they drank alcohol was they would get rice and they would wrap it in banana leaves, and then they'd go put it in the cellar and let it like start to rot, and then they would take it out and eat it and get drunk. And I tried it once and it was disgusting, and it really just made me, it you know, like fucked up the rest of my day, because it made me feel sick. But anyway, so this very, very authentic, you know, early ancestor Homo sapien lifestyle out here in the northeastern area of Thailand, and it's called Isan. They're a mixture between Laos and Thai people out there. And so all the dudes, you know, from, you know, 15 years old up to 70 years old, all are, you know, they have like 8 packs, all of them. They're just completely ripped, shredded. And they go out and work all day, like fishing and getting little animals, and there's like little monkeys out there and stuff. They're real pests though. One time one of the monkeys stole from me. I was parking my motorcycle out there, and I had a little bag of sausages that was hanging on the handlebars of my motorcycle. And when I turned my head to walk away from my motorcycle, this freaking monkey comes flying out of the trees, and he snatches my grab of sausages, the entire thing, in like one like swoop with his hand. He snatched my whole bag of sausages, but the handle was still there on the bag. It was just the whole bag, like with his claw. He like razor bladed it off. And then he ran away about probably 15 yards, 15 meters. And then he looked back at me and he was like, and then he took off, because he knew he was like stealing from me. And he was like intelligent, knew he was stealing from me. And then when he was at a safe distance, he looked back at me and he was like, fuck you. And then he took off. Freaking crazy experience. Actually, later that same day, I climbed a mountain and I encountered another family of these like medium-sized monkeys. The males were like probably half the size of me, like the alpha male of the group. And so what it was it's a family of monkeys, and they're on this mountain. And so I was really close to them, like, see how close I am walking like to these people right now. It's about the same distance from this family of monkeys, because we're hiking in this mountain. And then when I saw them, you know, I stopped, and there was one child with me, and there was 2 women, adult women with me, okay? And we all stopped and we were looking at the monkeys. And so the big male monkey, there was only one of them. he was at the top of this rock, and then he had like his female monkeys that were like at this slightly lower perched point, and they were all like grooming each other, and like had like their child monkeys kind of like running around them. Like the female monkeys, they were like, it would be like one would sit in front and the other would sit in back, and she would like pick through the one in front of her hair and like remove shit from inside their hair. It was really interesting. And then the children monkeys would kind of be like around the feet of the mothers, kind of like running around. There's probably like 4 adult females and then like countless of the small monkeys. Okay, but that alpha male monkey, the one adult male that was sitting at the top of the perch, man, that motherfucker had a bullseye on me. Man, he would not let his eyes off me, okay? All the other people in the group he ignored, but I was an adult male and close to his species, and he sensed it, and like it was so weird, like communicating with this dude, like that. They act very close to humans. That's why it's like, it's really weird. It's really freaking weird. This is a real monkey, okay? It's about half the size of me, and he would not let his eyes off me. He was watching me like a freaking hawk, you know. And I thought it was so interesting that he identified me out of our group and disregarded the females and the male child as threats, and made sure that you know, I wasn't gonna harm his family. It was like freaking crazy. It was really interesting. You could see all this communication going on between us, and you know, I was harmless, and you know, he didn't attack me. It's freaking insane. But okay, back to the way that the people were living there, and the things they were eating. So like, you know, at the end of the day, the men would come back because the women would be like, they would mostly be like doing gather type activity in this fishing community village that I was living in. There's like dirt roads and stuff. They still had a few things that were like modern technology though. Like they had like cement houses, and the kids, some of them had bicycles, and something like the country of Thailand, I guess, had put this in the village. There was like this little community fitness like weightlifting thing where you couldn't like move the weights or anything, like take them away. They were all like installed, and you couldn't like get big on it or something. But it was kind of interesting. It was an interesting thing that was there, like in the general village area. You know, the gasoline, when you buy the gasoline to get it in your motorbike, you know, the old 80-year-old Thai lady comes out of the shop after you honk the horn with a whiskey bottle, handle, 1.5 liter whiskey bottle of freaking gasoline, and pours it in your motorcycle. Thailand is nuts. Yeah, Thailand is nuts. That guy, he just got drilled in the ass this morning, so he's just walking kind of funny. So the primitive lifestyle that they were living without the modern technology, without the modern conveniences, you know, women would be doing this like vegetable stuff, and they would be taking care of the kids during the day also, at the home, and like making sure the kids were, you know, everything was good with them. They'd be playing, you know, but then all the dudes from the village would be gone from like morning until pretty much like sun up to sundown. Actually, that was pretty much it. And then they would come home, and once they got home, they wouldn't really do anything. They would be like chilling, eating bananas, or eating that alcoholic moldy rice, and they would be like laying down, and man, all the women like mobilized. Okay, it was really cool, like seeing them like as like a community of like sisters and stuff, like mobilized, right? Because the men would get back with these animals at night, and the women would then get the animals, and they'd start, you know, getting rocks and like breaking the crabs open with the rocks, and they'd all be doing this together. It wasn't just like you know, oh, like the mom was doing it or something like that, right? It would be like 4 or 5 women, and they'd be like laughing and joking while they while they were doing this. They're having like a great time. And while they were doing that, then like all the dudes would be over here like laying on the couch like eating bananas. They've been out in the sun all day. They have super dark skin from being in the sun all day, getting those animals and stuff. But then the women, like, they crush all these peppers that they've been gathering during the day and stuff, and make these like insanely spicy hot stuff. And then they're cooking this fish, they're frying some of it in oil and doing all this this preparation. And it's like they mobilize, right? And so they do like this huge elaborate meal, and this is all being cooked outdoors too, guys. This isn't being like, you know, this is using like a conventional fire and shit. And then within probably an hour and a half, they present this like awesome meal of like probably like 12 different like Thai dishes. Like because they mobilize like in this like team so efficiently, and they're really enjoying it when they're doing it, you guys. Like, it's like the highlight of the day. And I was like sitting there watching this shit, like fascinated. I was watching all this shit, right? Yeah, I was watching all this shit. And so I was going like, what the hell is happening right here? Because I'm observing. Obviously I'm like no match for the dudes who are these fishermen. I help them, but basically I was like the water boy, right? Or like the ball boy. Like, I brought the supplies. they did the actual, you know, like, you know, getting the crabs and like getting all these shrimp and like all these fish and stuff, right? And then I was the ball boy. When I came back too, I was also watching this, but I was kind of like up there a little bit, and I was kind of like talking to the women while they were, because I speak a bit of Thai, while I was like talking to the women while they, oh, I'm distracted right now. Yeah, I was talking to them while they were doing their cooking a little bit, and I was wanting to try out some of the things that they were doing. So like I helped crush the peppers and stuff, and like remove some of the stems and shit from the peppers. So that was good. And I'm not kidding. Dude was really getting drilled in the ass this morning. Fucking crazy, man. Yeah, so this was a really interesting experience. And then we all ate, and we all had this like awesome meal together with like all these Thai dishes and stuff. And it was super delicious. There was a bunch of different flavors, and we all had a great time. And then it was like nighttime, and it got dark, and we stayed up for a little bit. But then by like 9 o'clock or like 8:30, it was like time to go to bed, right? It's also like tired from being out there like, in the sun all day and shit. So it was like it was like a caveman experience, and I'd already always been like that anyways. How I got like access to that was I met this girl that was going to the Ram Khamphang University in Bangkok. That's near where I was living, And you know, she was getting an English teaching degree, and I was running around the track at her school, and she actually was practicing her English because it was her senior year. And so she like introduced herself and like really professionally like practiced her English, like introduced herself in a way, because they have really horrible accents there, guys. It's like they have it's really bad. It's the worst accent. But you know, and it's also in their society, it's really people don't want to try, because failure is like the ultimate like diss or like blow to your image and your society, right? So it's really like going above and beyond for her to go and do that, you know, and have the courage to do that when, you know, we're running around the track. She was doing her exercise, I was doing her exercise. Anyways, she was super cool. Became like a good friend. And so her friend was out there. She lived out there. Well, she actually didn't live out there in the countryside. She lived in the jungle that was near that super countryside. But her son lived like in the extreme countryside where it was the hunter-gatherer lifestyle. So we went out, me and those two women went out to go visit her son, who was staying with the second woman's parents and family in this super hunter-gatherer, northeastern Isan, primitive caveman Stone Age lifestyle. And that's how then she invited me to come to do that. So that's how I got access to that situation. And I'd always been like that anyways. I'd always wanted to be doing shit like that. I've always thought, like, you know, like being in bodybuilding, I've always liked like traditional values, traditional morals and stuff like that, you know. And I like also like traditional gender roles, you know. I like being like way more on the masculine side, and I like my female partner to be way more on the feminine side. And I'm also way more attracted to women that have like a big difference between their hips and their butt and, you know, like their ass, and also, you know, like have big tits, big boobs, stuff like that, right? I'm attracted to very estrogen dominant feminine women. I take testosterone, and I'm pretty fucking masculine. I'm pretty fucking jacked too. I'm telling you. And this is I like Stone Age lifestyle, because you gotta also be jacked if you're Stone Age lifestyle, right? Because you're picking up fucking stones and throwing stones and shit. And you got high testosterone because your environment is all fucked up by birth control, being pissed into the water system. And you know what the first thing is what kind of government in their right minds that gets money from the producers in their society would ever want to limit the amount of producers that society was gonna have, right? Well, but it's not just all producers. It's only a certain type, the educated, the people who have the access to the birth control and choose to use it are the most educated, and they are the ones who will no longer be breeding, and they are the ones who are going to be most likely to not be drones. And if you're not a drone, you're a threat to society. You're a threat to the society, and you're a threat to the status quo, and you're a threat to the power that your government has over the society. So I don't like any of that. Fuck all that. I already said in the last video, I'll opt out of all that shit. I like the Stone Age lifestyle. I like my behavior to be more Stone Age aligned. And I like my women to be the way I described earlier. You know, I like traditional gender roles, traditional sex role. And that's the way that I like my behavior. I'm not attracted to women that don't behave like that. So, you know, if they think something about me, I don't care. They can go to hell. And then also any men who don't like that either, they can also go to hell because they've been brainwashed by the propaganda system of the Western government. And they're getting cucked. Getting cucked, brother. So, Stone Age lifestyle, baby. Dan the bodybuilder from Thailand. Stone Age lifestyle, motherfucker.